funny.
Alright, Shropshire lad here. It's been a whole year since I did my first YouTube video, I can't believe it. And that first YouTube video was of a leg of lamb, which was rolled. Some of you might remember it. Today, I'm going to do another leg of lamb, but this time we're going to do it over this fire pit. Now, last time when I did this, it was spring and we had spring lamb around. The weather has been terrible, as some of you may have noticed, and so unfortunately everything's been pushed back a bit and we haven't got any spring lamb. So I'm going to cook this lovely piece of Hoggett. Now this is what we call a teenager really, rather than a lamb. It's around about 18 months old, means it's much more mature than your spring lamb. It brings much more flavour. This big fat cap here is going to lubricate it while it cooks over the fire, which is exactly what we need when we're going to use this method of cooking. We're going to use this hook here to hang it over an open fire. I'm cooking it over oak, which is going to give it amazing flavour. You can see the smoke just going to lick it, the flames are going to lick it. I'm going to knock up some wild garlic butter, which we're going to baste it with. We're going to throw in some purple sprouting broccoli at the end. We're going to make some amazing potatoes. It's going to be wicked. I've got some friends coming over to eat it later. I really, really can't wait. I'm not even sure how long this is going to take, but it's all good fun. It's all an experiment. So let's get on with it. Right, so to prepare this before it goes on the fire, we're going to keep things really, really simple. I'm just going to make, first of all, some incisions all over the leg. Just little incisions like that, where we're going to pop in sprigs of rosemary and bulbs of garlic, and that's just going to obviously get licked by that flame. Also, it's going to travel, the flavour's going to travel with the fat as it renders down as well, and that's going to just go down into the meat. So we're going to pop right, now I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of olive oil. So just rub that in. Plenty of salt and pepper. I just mixed it all up. Sea salt and cracked black pepper. Work that in. Okay. And that's the lamb prepped. I borrowed a butcher's hook from my butcher. Cheers, Lauren. And we're just going to drop that onto the hook now, over that flame. It's that simple. Yet another good reason to use your butchers is the fact that you can get these bones. So these are just like, these are waste, if I hadn't asked for them. There's bits of rib, looks like that's a bit of the spine of the lamb, but these are going to make the most incredible gravy, right? So what we're going to do is literally just on the board where I've seasoned the lamb, I'm just going to mop up any bits of salt and pepper. You know, you can even give them a rub with some herbs. I mean, it doesn't really matter, just because these are going to kind of go onto the flames, and we're just going to start charring them up, and that's just going to bring so much flavour to the stock. Add a little bit more salt and pepper. Again, you can just be really rough about it. Just literally going to whack these on here. Excuse the kids running around, but this is a family home. Right, we're just going to let them char up on there, and then I'll whip them over, and we're just waiting for them not to burn, but just to get some sort of caramelisation going on, get that fat going. Then they're going to go into a pot with some water, some bay leaves, a bit of onion, some carrots, and we're going to use that liquid later to make an awesome sauce, but also to cook the potatoes as well. That's the colour, the caramelisation we're looking for. That's so much flavour that's going to bring to us that gravy. Alright, so ready to make the stock. Just going to drop in, this is some boiling water, some carrots, roughly chopped, a couple of onions, a couple of bay leaves, say 3 dried bay leaves, and then these bits of lamb. See, all that is going to create such a good flavour. That in there. Leave that ticking on the side there for the entirety of the cook. Well, we're going to use it in a little while to parboil the potatoes in as well, which we're going to do, and then at the end we're going to ladle it into the gravy. It's going to be sensational. I really can't wait to taste this. Right, since you've been on, there's been all sorts of drama. It's the British summertime. It's pissing down with rain, so there's water everywhere. I've had to get my fishing brolly out, but result is we've got some wicked looking lamb there. The charring on that and the crust that it's formed is incredible. I flipped it around halfway while you were there. I've also parboiled some spuds in the stock that we made earlier. Right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to finish this off. Right, we're going to get this thing down. I'm going to drop it into one of these massive paella pans that you get when you buy one of these awesome Kadais. So this is like one of the accessories. I absolutely recommend these. They're so versatile. We're not making a paella at all today, but this is going to be wicked for what I want to do. So we're going to drop down the lamb, and that's just going to kind of rest. It's going to stay warm because, you know, this is going to get hot, but really this is over where the logs are still burning. But what we're going to do is just going to start to help out these spuds get some more flavour onto these. They're already cooked in the stock, as I said. Got this lovely stock underneath. We're going to make some gravy with shortly, but for now we're just going to let these sort of sizzle away with the lamb fat and get a little bit of a nice sort of like crispy edge to them there. You see they're already starting to brown there. Okay, right. So, wild garlic is everywhere this time of year. You remember the dish I made last year with wild garlic and lamb? They work so well together. This time we made a wild garlic butter last time. We're going to do the same thing again, but this time we're going to cook the wild garlic in the butter. I've used 50% butter and 50% olive oil. I'm just going to chop that down nice and fine. And we've got the 50% butter and olive oil in the pan ready. That's going to go in there. I'm going to get it with a load of soaking wet salt and pepper as well. And then I'm going to use this little brush in there. In a minute, we're going to get that on the heat now and let that start to cook down. And this is going to be used to sort of like kind of season everything. It's going to season the bit of the lamb. It's going to season these potatoes. It's also going to season the purple sprouting broccoli and the mushrooms that I've got to finish off as well. They're going really nice now. We're going to throw in a couple of cloves of garlic and some sprigs of thyme. We're going to start licking these potatoes with the oil. Okay, right. They're all charred up and sorted. That's cooked through perfectly. It's hit 60 degrees in the middle, which is just what we want, so it should be nice and pink. I'm going to lift that off now. I'm just going to let it rest over here whilst we finish off the last little gems. Make sure you get all that tucked up cozy ready for when we're going to serve. Here it's sizzling away. The smell coming off this is insane, like seriously insane. I can't wait to get stuck into it. I really can't. Right then, so we're going to let that rest for about half an hour now. So what we're going to do is start on these portobello mushrooms. These things are super meaty, super tasty, brilliant for a barbecue. So we're going to chuck them straight on the edges. I don't want to like crucify these things. We're just going to let them like tick away there. But what we're going to do is lick them with this mix of butter and oil and wild garlic and my rosemary brush. It doesn't look very hot, but it's seriously kicking out some heat, this Kadai, all around the outsides. See you hear the sounds that's making. Need to get plenty of that oil in there. You can even be cheeky and drizzle a little bit in if you want. Okay, right now for the gravy, we're gonna got the stock bubbling away there nicely. But what we're gonna do is add probably about a glass of red wine to that. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull that right over this heat and make sure we start to reduce that now and burn off all that alcohol, but we're going to intensify the flavours that are in there whilst these mushrooms tick away and whilst we wait for the lamb to rest. The very last thing that's going to go on is some purple sprouting broccoli, and then we're good to go. I really can't wait to eat this. It's going to be insane. Just move this to one side now, off the main heat. It doesn't need to be bubbling that hot. And then finally I've got this lovely purple sprouting broccoli which is in season now. Look at the colour of that, it's incredible. We're just going to throw that straight on the grill, like so. Loads of it. And then more of the wild garlic butter, just to char it up. Okay, so we've got all this wild garlic butter that's left here now. I'm just going to add a little bit of flour to that to help this sauce. Okay, just going to work that flour in, maybe a little bit more, probably about a tablespoon of flour in total. Work that into the sauce to make a little bit of a wild garlic butter roux, which then is just going to go straight into this and thicken our sauce. So everything's ready. I'm just going to literally grab it with my asbestos hands, chuck it all together onto here, and we'll serve it up. Right, I've got a load of hungry people waiting in there, but I'm just going to have to show you the inside of this. So, it's been on there for about 3 hours now, and it's a little bit blushing as I go in. I'm just going to remove the, should have taken that out before. You see the juice is oozing out of that though. It's nice and pink in the middle. The smell coming off that lamb, it's just incredible. It's a big old piece, so the outside is going to be cooked, but inside there it's just blushing. Just dunk it in that wild garlic gravy made with all those caramelized ribs and bits and pieces. Oh man, that is so good. You got to get yourself a Kadai. Got to hang a leg of lamb over it. This is the time of year to do it. Get the wild garlic out. Mate, whoa. Seriously good. There's hungry people in there, so we're going to go and eat. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Cheers guys.